Let's beat some players adopting the power serve and strong forehand style in the Tour 7 of Tennis Clash, a sports game made by Wi-Fi Studios. So the principle is to try and return drop shots, soft shots that fall near the net in your opponent's court side whenever possible, as those power servers have low agility most of the time. Very few of them have built decent agility to counter drop shots. And if that doesn't work or drop shots are not your thing, well, because their backhand is weak in favor of their forehand's attribute, which becomes strong. On the contrary, what I do is I try and hit on their backhand whenever the opportunity appears. So sometimes your opponent will be very, very accurate, like the first points played here by my opponent. Afterwards, because the return will be very weak from their backhand, what I generally do is I insist a bit first on their backhand to make them think I will keep aggressing their backhand and make them try and anticipate a hit coming on their backhand. At the end, I hit a big forehand down the line toward the other side of the court so as to outflank my opponent. Be careful, of course, because Victoria and Leo are left-handed, so their backhand is other character's forehand. Keep that in mind when you try and hit their backhand. But if you play in the Tour 7, of course, you are used to see where are the backhands of your opponents. So, whether your serve is decent or weak, you can try now and then to surprise those power servers having low agility by making a drop serve like I did lately. Don't overdo tough, as they may get prepared to that type of service, the drop serve, and hit you hard the second or third time you use it. So here, in this match, I have used the drop serve, not a lot of drop shots, and I tried to surprise, to outflank my opponent by playing on the side that she didn't expect me to play. Well, a lot of times those power servers will try and anticipate you hitting a return. Well, Coco is a player that I have faced several times in the Tour 7. And so they will place accordingly to receive on their forehand. Okay? So if you can have enough time to see it, or if you see a pattern in their way of placing the character, then just try and hit the complete other side to surprising wrong foot them. So here's my opponent is playing with Leo. See here, I have used the drop shot, as you may have seen, and it is effective because Leo is quite slow. Yeah, here it works marvelously. Quite slow, so just yeah, here he didn't even move. But if your backhand is strong enough, he should have a very hard time to return. Okay, so this Coco guy is not it's not so tricky to read. The way he plays is not very complicated to read. Okay, talking about pattern, I try to analyze a bit how often an opponent tends to play which zone or serve in which spot, and then I place my character accordingly to deliver a good and accurate return that won't hurt my opponent. As you may know, in a lot of matches, you may have seen that depending on the side, your opponent is going to serve. He or she tends to hit always the same angle of the service box, okay, of your service box, on your side, I mean. So some will play near the center mark, okay, by the center of the court all the time. Some will try to make a cross-court serve all the time. Some will move a lot and try to surprise you by hitting. So here is what's the center mark. So just try and analyze the pattern of service of your opponent and place your character. Of course, sometimes it doesn't work, and then, well, What can you do? You have tried your best, but generally you will read a pattern and just try to exploit the weakness. You will hit more effective cross-court or down-the-line shots when you start to see your opponent's pattern. So it's something that's worth analyzing. Of course, it's easier to counter those players adopting the power serve and strong forehand build with a rounder style, a versatile style, which means decent agility, decent serve, decent backhand, and a strong forehand. That's the build that I'm playing with right now. Or with a power serve plus big forehand. It's easier with that than with an aggressive baseliner build which has a low serve, for sure. Because you will be aggressive on the return. Okay, so this one is surprisingly tries to make drop shots on the return. What's on the time? Okay. Alright, so I include the power serve style to counter, even if I understand that if you want to see in this video how to counter power server, well, that's because you don't want to play with the power serve build in the first place. Of course, but it's a joy, I can tell you, it's a real joy to beat a power server plus strong forehand player, you know, with his or her own style. And by the way, you can watch a video on Gameplays 365 channel where my opponent and I, we hit 30 aces out of 34 points played. That was ridiculous. But I beat him at the end, and well, that was a bit lucky of course, but I mean, there's no more joy than to beat a power server with his own style using the power serve. About the string to use to counter those big serves, well, I think that they are not so important. And that may be a paradox, but it's rather the way you place your character, I believe that, near the baseline to receive the serve that is critical. If your cycle of agility is too far from where the serve hits on your service box, you will suffer an ace anyway. Even with a long catch tier 2 or tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 string, whatever, or with a very big agility, it will not work, okay, if you are too far away. Here again, watch and analyze the pattern of your opponent when he or she serves. That's very important. I insist on that. I repeat that. That's very important to analyze, to try and read the pattern of your opponent when he or she is about to serve. It may take you 2 or 3 serves to figure it out. So it may be too late sometime because the score will be so overwhelming for you and you can't come back, but it will be useful for the next time you face the opponent. Anyway, so when the match lasts longer, you will generally have more time to analyze and to come back to win the match, to try and win the match. So try and make the match last, of course. Okay, so yeah, my opponent here was anticipating me returning on his backhand, or her backhand. Yeah. She's playing with Victoria, so I'm call that as her. And this opponent was anticipating me playing on his on her backhand, so I decided, of course. Alright, so yeah, easy. That's the good thing when you have a decent serve. And if you make a cross-court serve, a lot of times, if your opponent doesn't have a very high accuracy, he or she may hit and may commit an unforced error, or you may have a hard time to return your serve, your cross-court serve, and then you just have to finish. Yeah, to make a drop shots. on return. But if you want to give yourself a little boost to catch your opponent's big forehand, well, of course you can try the swallow pulley or the choker core. It depends. I would also add that sometimes you have to be a bit lucky as well, hoping for your power serve opponents to make some unforced errors, a bit like in the first match of this video, so that you can play with less stress, and that's easier that way. Means don't lose hope, because sometimes your opponent will start very well, and then sometimes just the machine doesn't work anymore. The serve machine just stops working. So it's your time to take profit of that. Of course, everything I have said is useless if your attributes are too low compared to your opponents, of course. So if you are unlucky to be matched in lower tours with an overpowered opponent who wants to practice his huge serve and super strong forehand, well, the only thing you can do is to pray for your opponent to commit a lot of double faults and other unforced errors, because I don't know how you can get through that challenge. Next time you will see that in lower tours, some monsters, serve monsters, just practicing. It happened. It's where I was sometimes when I start the days, I want to warm my fingers a bit by playing in the lower tours, to get things in place, and then I play in the tour 7. So that's it. That was the last match. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy watching me counter some players adopting the power serve plus strong forehand style in Tour 7 of Tennis Clash, a sports game made by Wildlife Studios. I'm going to show you my lineup. Here are the cards that I use. Alright. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 to stay tuned for new videos of Tennis Clash. I have other victories against the power servers, and I'm going to show you them in the next part, another part. Thank you a lot for your support, and see you soon on Gameplay 365. Bye bye.